Groß was really good as well when he come on. Like, people always give Groß a hard time and say he's not an impact sub as well. He came on, had a pretty good game. Like, he scored this goal. Obviously, we'll get onto this goal now. But it was well. He was putting in some very good crosses, and I like Groß. I just don't get the slander. I know we said it last week, and we say it quite a lot. I think we're quite good with Groß, and we don't slander him too much. I just thought, again, he came on, put in a good shift, and could easily have had this goal, because we'll talk about it now.
Fantastic finish as well.
It was a fantastic finish, and it reminded me so much of the West Brom game. The second goal, actually, I think it was in the Prem.
Yeah, second goal, yeah.
And it was a fantastic strike. It was literally identical to the one that he scored yesterday. Well, didn't score because it was offside, but it wasn't offside, I don't think. I mean, I don't know what you guys thought.
It was more like I can't even like, I've watched the replays plenty of times, and it's literally marginal. Like, you know, one of those like what people always complain like like where the line's just like, it's so tough to call. I'm sure, you know, you have to take VAR's call for it, unfortunately, but like, it was so tight. I don't know.
I've got some strong opinions here. And
did they get the lines right? Because a lot of people are saying that the lines are wrong.
They don't look parallel to me. They don't actually match up with the lines of the grass, so that means that they're not straight. And
or the lines of the grass not straight. the groundsman's fault.
Well,
I don't know.
What really got to me was the fact that they didn't show that in the ground, and they're supposed to show that in the ground after the decisions made. Yeah. They didn't do that because I still don't think that's. I don't see how that's offside. I'm sorry if my thing's a bit dark.
No,
but I don't think I'm showing it on the screen if you're listening. By the way, I just can't see. I can't see how he's offside. I really can't. And I think in a situation like that, I think the only reason it was given was because the linesman flagged. And as soon as he flagged, I stopped celebrating. My dad was still going like this. And I was like, Dad, like...
Yeah, there was actual proper decent limbs as well.
It was good. It was genuinely pretty good. And that's what was so annoying, because I don't... This is what does my head in about VAR, and what does my head in about the officials in general. If VAR is going to be there, it's got to get the right decisions, or at least give the benefit of the doubt to the attacker in a situation like offside. I think this offside call it is prime. I mean, we spoke about VAR, Maz, a couple of weeks ago, and I was saying it's been a while since I've been able to really slander it. And as you know, I've not been a big fan of it since the beginning. I'm a very traditionalist when it comes to football. I've been going to games all my life, and I still do. And what annoys me is when you're in the ground, it annoys me because everyone around us is celebrating. Everyone's loving their life, right? We're really giving it, yeah? And that's what football's all about. You're meant to be celebrating, meant to be having that passion. But then when you've got to take that away, straight away, because they're checking for VAR, and it's something as stupid as that, that's where it's wrong. Like, you cannot tell me, if you've got any understanding of football, that that's right. Because that's not football. That's not what it's supposed to be. You don't slow down a fast-moving... Well, I say fast-moving with Groß on the counter attack. But that
was also funny. That's probably the first time he's ever been caught offside, surely. Whether he was quicker than the defender or not, I don't know. It's so frustrating.
It's so frustrating.
Again, I don't know if the lines are sorted properly in that either.
No.
And then I saw Jack BHAFC. He's actually deleted the thread for some reason. I just tried to get it up, and he was showing all the times we've been screwed over by VAR, and that's obviously one of them. And there's been quite a few times in the Premier League where we've had a really tough time, or we haven't even got decisions that weren't even looked at by VAR.
Yeah.
That goes offside. But people were saying if he's offside, he's offside. Like some guy said, if you're pregnant, you're pregnant, and I was like, yeah, that's true. And if you're a Southampton fan, you're saying, yeah, that was offside. So what are you complaining about? It's just how close.
I think as well with a situation like that, and I'm not just saying it genuinely. If it was the other way around, I would say, "No, that's harsh." Like, I'd be saying we've got away with it. I don't think I'm pretty good when it comes to decisions like that, and I'll be saying, yeah, like, we've got away with that one. And to be fair, I think Southampton a few of them did say the same.
But also as well, Ben, like, just going back to your point about saying, like, we don't get like the luck of the draw. Like, to be fair, you missed it last week. Me and Ryan were chatting about it. Like the Leicester game. Like, I think we have had there's two big decisions that game where they could have easily, referred to VAR /
This is what I'm going to say about this whole, like,
that was only one game, I think.
Yeah.
No, that's just the one that sticks in my mind.
The luck on your side thing, right? And this is what really annoys me about football, because obviously there's got to be an element of luck. It's a luck-based game, right? But I think that there shouldn't be a situation, if you've got VAR in, yes, you're prone to human error, but that's not human error. That's just wrong. Like, it shouldn't take that long. You saw the Arsenal goal, and that was a prime example. Blatantly offside. Like, that was offside. That was, as far as I'm concerned, offside. His feet was off there he's off. So that was fine. But the fact it took 4 minutes, I mean, even I was saying at the time, this is ridiculous. Like, I would rather them just give the goal, if that's what's going to be. I'd rather them just say, look, whatever the first decision was, give it. It shouldn't be a case of there needs to be a time cap. And in this sense, it went on for quite a bit. Not too bad, but it was more the fact that it's taken that long, and they've still, I don't think they've got the right decision. I think they've taken that long and still come to an inconclusive decision. So how can that be fair? I think it should benefit the attacker at least, because I'll be saying the same the other way around. Like, I'm not pro VAR. I never have been. I'm a very traditionalist in football, but I don't get how that's making the game better. I think it should be there to take that whole ref is on your side thing away from the game, if anything, surely.
My only thing with VAR is, like, let's say, for example, we got to got to the last game of the season, right? And Brighton Hove Albion, we're going to qualify for Europe, right? And then in the last minute, we're winning a game, and then the other team score to equalise 2-2, but it shouldn't have stood, and VAR wasn't there to thingy. Like, how pissed off would you be that we've been
a bit like, remember when European Sterling versus Spurs, when it
exactly there you go. Like, Spurs would not have been in the Champions League final if it weren't for VAR, because they ultimately have got the right decision. I know what you're saying, Ryan. Like, sometimes you feel they don't get the right decisions, or the VAR just doesn't help, or whatever it might be. Like, VAR just hasn't worked. I get that. I get this. It's not perfect, but in my opinion, 9 times out of 10, it will come to the right decision and give the right outcome.
I wouldn't say 9 times out of 10.
I think so.
I would say 6 times out of 10. Because I'm looking across the board here. There was the United game where there was plenty of problems in that. There was the Arsenal game where there was problems in that too. Sorry, that was Arsenal United. There was either side. There was a Tottenham game where there was problems. There was a Liverpool game where there was problems. The Everton game, there should have easily been a penalty for Everton. It wasn't given over VAR. The Arsenal game, that was a penalty. Saka scored. That shouldn't have been a penalty, mate. There's these things here.
Yeah.
And I just don't think. I think they miss things way more at the moment than they get right at the moment.
I agree with it. Like, it's nowhere near perfect. Like, VAR is not perfect. I'm not saying it is like the finished article. I just feel like the technology itself is a good piece of technology to have, and I feel like it's definitely right for the game. But I agree with you. It does take out the buzz of the game. Like, when a goal goes in, you're like, oh, is it a goal? Is it not? Do we have to wait for VAR? Like, I get it's not perfect, but
it's like putting VAR in boxing. It's a fast moving sport that things, it's like saying, oh, did he hit below the belt? Oh, hang on a minute, let's stop the fight.
Or like, stop in to look at that head
did he
clash,
hit below the
for
belt?
Example, or Fury and Wyatt, maybe,
Then you're like, this is ridiculous. You don't want to sit around for 4 minutes looking if he hit below the belt and it's marginal, and you think, oh, well, we'll deduct a point of both of them, and then we'll move on with the game. That's not how it should be, is it? And that's what I think with sports like boxing, like football. They're too fast moving for a VAR. I mean, in cricket, it works fine, works perfectly. I mean, F1 may be a bit more of a inconclusive one at times. I mean, the Verstappen thing about a year ago is still caused controversy. But I just think, I don't know, when it's a fast moving sport like that, I think it's so hard to decipher. Especially offsides. Offsides have become so ridiculous. I generally don't know.
My last point on it, though, last point of VAR, I just think I agree with you in that they just need to benefit the attacker more. Like, some of the stuff where you can get offside for an arm when you don't use your arm to score a goal. Yeah, that's the most. Whoever came to that decision, surely just whatever body part you score with. Yeah. Or even if it's just the feet, like you're not going to be. You don't run with your fucking arm, so why should your arm be offside? You run with your feet, and even if you're leaning a bit more forward, it's not really. It's your feet that are then going to bring you more forward. It's not. You don't run with your. Yeah. Do you get what I'm saying? You should. I think it should just be feet, and that way it does give. A bit more benefit to the
I agree. I think
because I think levels on most of the time the striker's going to be leaning forward because he's running towards the goal.
Yeah.
And the defender's obviously not going to be always running towards the goal. So the defender's always going. The attacker's always going to be leaning a bit more forward. It's just natural motion. So if they just do it for the feet, it will benefit the attacker more. That's probably
and it's meant that these sort of explosive players have to sort of hold that and be like, okay, well, I've got to be like at least a yard behind just in case that gets flagged, and the late flags as well is another stupid thing that they do. But I think overall it's just there's too many. Maybe VAR would work if we didn't have the officials that just didn't come to a conclusion. I mean, I think that VAR room should have X players or something in there. Someone that actually understands the game, not people that read it out of a textbook, because it's just not right. It's like putting me in the VAR room, right? I haven't played football at a Premier League level. Let alone, I haven't even played football at a county level because I ain't good enough. So for me to go down the county leagues, right, and just because I've studied the football out of a book and be like, nah, sorry mate, you ain't good enough because everyone would look at me like, who does this guy think he is? And I think that's what the sort of problem we've got in the Premier League. We've got these guys.
You see the Premier League pundits. They always disagree on 9 times out of 10 of what the referee's done.
Wasn't it Rio Ferdinand wanted to fight Peter Walton the other day? He basically was like,
just disagreeing.
Disagreeing with Peter Walton.
That's what I'm trying to say.
Professionals are like, we played the game. We know this kind of stuff. There should be more benefits for the players rather than just being like you said, reading out a textbook is.
Yeah. It's to say, I'll end it on that anyway. I just think that, the VAR conversation, there needs to be something done over officials. I know that our words mean absolutely nothing in the grand scheme of it, but then there has to be, because it just brings that sort of excitement out of it. And I can accept if it was offside. If Groß was offside, if his foot was in front of him, behind him even, I'd be like, fair enough. Like, I can accept that. It was offside. But it wasn't, I don't think. I can't see that as a conclusive decision of offside, but here we are.